Uh, we just got win. See, he a good fighter, but I'm comfortable where I'm comfortable with. In 2011, he won. We was 1-2 in the nation. Now we fighting to see who's the best in the world, and we doing it for a large amount of money.
Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach have had their share of public disagreements, especially on social media. But recently, their rivalry has expanded to other areas, including their training routines. As fight week approached, Lamont Roach released workout videos to respond to those posted by Tank Davis just days earlier. The boxing world is buzzing with excitement for the upcoming fight between Davis and Roach, especially after Roach's strong performance in his recent comeback against Gervonta, Tank Davis.
Just gotta make him make mistakes and things like that and see if we can open him up and attack his openness.
Now he is going up and...
This time, it was Davis who threw the first punch, and Lamont Roach responded in a big way, just as their fight week kicked off. Now, fans are left wondering, will Roach's bold actions put him in more danger against Tank Davis, or could it lead to an unexpected outcome where Davis loses for the first time in his 31-fight career? On Thursday, ahead of their March 1st showdown, Lamont Roach Jr. held a media workout at No Excuse Boxing Club in his hometown of Marlow Heights, Maryland. Roach, the reigning 130 pounds world champion, is stepping up to the lightweight division to challenge the undefeated Gervonta, Tank Davis for his WBA title. This fight also sparks a long-standing regional rivalry between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore that dates back to their many amateur matchups.
Obviously he can punch, we know that, so that's a thing, but you know what I'm saying, that's not deterring our game plan or any.
With a 6-fight winning streak behind him, Lamont Roach is ready for the biggest challenge of his career, training alongside his father and coach, Lamont Roach Sr. heading into the fight. Many critics have questioned Roach's move up to 135 pounds, given his lack of experience at that weight. Still, Roach remains confident and focused. "I feel great and I can't wait," Roach said. "Moving up to 135 pounds is actually making everything much easier. There's no stress from cutting weight, and I won't feel drained at all." Reflecting on their amateur rivalry, Roach acknowledged that Gervonta Davis has become a world-class fighter since their younger days. "We were both good back then, but we've both grown a lot since then. I'm going to show that I've evolved even more."
Always been a boxing habit, DC, Maryland, and DC and Maryland got. This me. This PBC, we got a train car out here.
Oh, all right.
Many of Davis's previous opponents have backed off early in fear of his power, but Lamont Roach is determined not to make that same mistake. "I'm not going in with a scared mindset. That's where a lot of people go wrong against Tank, especially when they've already lost mentally before the fight even starts," Roach explained. "I know a lot about Tank from our history, and I plan to use that familiarity to my advantage." Roach believes his boxing IQ and skill set are on a whole different level compared to anyone Davis has faced before. "The tenacity I'm bringing to the ring is something Tank hasn't dealt with. I'm bringing the full package," Roach said. "The hard work I've put in shows I deserve this opportunity. I've worked to become one of the best fighters in the world, if not the best in my weight class. Now, I finally get the chance to prove myself against a pound-for-pound talent."
DC and Maryland got a rich history in the professional boxing world with champions. So
they do.
"We're just a week out, and I feel great," Roach said. "Seeing so many people here is only making me more excited. I'm ready to get in there and put on a show." The rivalry between DC and Maryland is already heating up as Roach prepares to face Davis. Although Roach has lost to Davis twice earlier in his career, he insists it hasn't affected him. "I'm excited to represent DC," Roach added. "It's an honor, and the opportunity one have right now is huge."
Yeah, we're prepared. We're prepared. We spar some bigger guys, some guys that can punch. So, and previously I've been in there with middleweights, junior middleweights, welterweights.
Roach's father, who has been by his side since the very beginning as his coach, expressed just how proud he is of his son. "He takes on that pressure like it's nothing. It only fuels him," his father said. "It's amazing, words can't fully describe it, but it's an incredible feeling." After Gervonta Davis released his own workout footage a week earlier, Lamont Roach responded by sharing his own footage, keeping the momentum going as fans continued to predict a knockout victory for Tank.
Catch the rim, baby. Catch the rim, baby. Dance with this shit.
The first episode of *Gloves Off, Tank vs. Roach * dives into the incredible rise of Tank Davis, with the narrator focusing on his journey. Barry Hunter, who's featured in the episode as Davis's trainer, shared a personal insight. Ever since I've known him as a kid, his biggest fear was losing. Hunter, who's well known for coaching DC fighters Lamont and Anthony Peterson, reflects on his close relationship with Davis and the fighter's growth over the years.
What goes up, come down, my nigga.
Just cover the event.
To recall a moment when Davis was moved to tears at an Adrian Broner fight, longing to be part of that big fight atmosphere. Though years have passed since then, Hunter believes that moment showed Davis's drive to work tirelessly toward that goal. Despite critics who question his matchmaking and accuse him of avoiding high-risk fights, Davis's fear of losing has only fueled his success. His careful preparation has paid off in the ring, reflected in his unbeaten record of 30-0. However, Davis, now 30, has hinted that he's reached the end of his career in the savage sport and plans to retire soon. But first, he has business to take care of, a fight against Lamont Roach Jr. on March 1st at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, presented by Premier Boxing Champions. Lately, Davis's mindset seems to be shifting, and fans are left wondering what's behind this change.
There, come on, quick. Drop those hips. Nice, come on, give me that explosion. Rip.
The back and forth between the fighters has only added fuel to the fire for a rivalry that's been building for over a decade. Both Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis know what's on the line: pride, legacy, and the championship belt. But despite all the social media drama, not everyone is convinced that Roach is the one to dethrone Davis. Boxing legend Terence Crawford weighed in during a recent interview with Fight Hype, expressing doubts about Roach's ability to go the distance. Crawford pointed out that while Roach may have some skill, he's not sure the challenger has the mental toughness to handle a full 12 rounds against a fighter like Davis. They might have a little skill here and there, Crawford said, but mentally, they're not going to be able to keep it up for the whole fight.
Undefeated? And what champ? Come on, man, tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at. All right, I'll welcome him.
Let's be real, Davis's record speaks for itself: 30 wins and 28 knockouts. He's left a trail of fighters in his wake, with names like Ryan Garcia and Frank Martin on his list of victories. But Lamont Roach isn't focused on the statistics. He's preparing to take away Davis's advantages, one punch and one mental edge at a time. Roach knows that Davis loves to break his opponents mentally before landing the knockout blow. But Roach plans to flip the script, staying calm under pressure and sticking to his own game plan instead of reacting to Davis's every move. His motivation for this fight is crystal clear: legacy and a life-changing opportunity. The biggest motivations for this fight are being able to show I'm really one of the best fighters in the world, Roach said.
It'd be like, I don't know, it'd be little clips like you see how like man him was talking and then somebody else talked like his crew. Mm-hmm. That's what get me up. Like that's what make me like I always want to prove to somebody that I'm like they.
For me, after I win, my life and my family's life will change drastically for the better, Roach said. It's a simple but powerful statement. Roach isn't just fighting for himself, he's fighting for his family, his city, and the respect he feels he's been denied. Beating Davis would be a career-defining moment, taking him from a solid champion to a household name. In training camp, Roach has been pushing himself harder than ever. His sparring partners have been chosen specifically to replicate Davis's style, throwing speed, power, and aggression at him. And Roach has been holding his own. His focus is on movement, defense, and keeping the fight in the middle of the ring. Roach knows that standing still against Davis is a death sentence, so he's training to stay elusive while still landing sharp counters. His father, Lamont Roach Sr., has been a huge influence in keeping him mentally locked in. As a no-nonsense trainer, Roach Sr. doesn't let outside distractions affect their work. Every session is about preparation and improvement, not worrying about what the media or fans are saying. It's all about staying grounded and sticking to the plan. Psychologically, Roach knows he has to stay in Davis's face from the opening bell. Davis thrives when opponents show fear or hesitation, but Roach refuses to give him that satisfaction.
I'm not looking at Lamont the way that everybody else look at Lamont. Like I know Lamont is a really good fighter. I'm not. This ain't no Frank Martin. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's a real good fight.
The plan for Roach is simple: stay calm, stay sharp, and show Davis that he's not intimidated. If he can do that, he has a real shot at breaking down the walls Davis typically builds around his opponents. However, Davis has been stirring up confusion lately with some unpredictable moves. For the past few months, the Baltimore native has made eyebrow-raising comments about his career, leaving his fans uncertain about what's going on. It all started on Christmas Eve when Davis dropped a bombshell that left everyone questioning things. Out of nowhere, he claimed that the highly anticipated showdown with Roach, one fans had been eagerly awaiting, was cancelled. There was no explanation, no follow-up statement, just a social media post that left the boxing world scratching its head.
Talk to me about the mental preparation going to this fight with Lamont. Fans, they kind of sleeping on Lamont, but you know Lamont fight style. Y'all fought.
Yeah, people don't know him, but Lamont is a good fighter. Like he ain't no slouch. Like I fought him in the amateurs. Like
naturally, fans jumped to conclusions, speculating that it might be another one of Tank's infamous meltdowns. The unpredictability of Davis's statements isn't new, but this time, it felt different. The timing was strange, and with no backup from his team or anyone else, it seemed like another instance of Davis throwing a wrench into his own plans. Just when it looked like the fight might slip away, Lamont Roach and his father, Lamont Sr., stepped in to clear things up. They issued statements reassuring fans that the fight was still on track for its scheduled date. The situation could have easily spiraled into chaos, but both fighters managed to keep the focus on their upcoming showdown. Despite the brief confusion, the momentum never wavered, and now, both Roach and Davis are fully locked in for their March 1st, 2025 bout at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
There's a rematch clause, people, so get ready for 2 fights. But, yes, and after I beat him the second time, I probably would ask the WBA to let me go up to 140 and fight Raya.
Roach, for his part, was just as confused as everyone else when the cancellation rumors started spreading. While fans on social media were panicking, Roach didn't get caught up in the drama. During a recent Q&A session on his YouTube channel, he addressed the situation with his usual calm demeanor. A fan asked him directly why people were saying the fight was cancelled or that he had pulled out. Roach smiled, acknowledging the question, and explained his side. Gervonta Davis is like a wild card, Roach said. You never know what he's going to do next. The 29-year-old Washington native admitted that Davis's unpredictability is something he's had to get used to over the years. But Roach wasn't fazed by the rumors or confusion. Instead, he's learned to stay focused on what he can control.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he's going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he's going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plant's wife, and say, who do you want next? And Tank's going to say, I want all those guys. And they're going to go to the press conference.
Roach has been through a lot on his own journey, and he's not about to let any of Davis's eccentricities throw him off course. By now, Roach knows that Davis is his own person, and his decisions don't always make sense from the outside. Whether it's an emotional tweet or a cryptic post, Davis keeps people guessing about his next move. But Roach isn't bothered by the mental games Tank plays with the boxing world. For him, it's business as usual. He's got his own fight to prepare for, and nothing is going to distract him from that goal. Roach understands that the mental side of boxing is just as important as physical preparation, and he's staying mentally sharp for the biggest challenge of his career. I don't let that stuff affect me, Roach said, making it clear that he's not getting caught up in the drama or rumors. Instead, he's channeling all his energy into preparing for what could be the fight of his life. Roach knows that beating Davis would change everything: his career, his life, and his legacy. But for now, he's keeping his eyes on the prize and letting the noise from the outside roll off his back.
No one's been able to solve Tank Davis. What do you need to do together with you and your team and obviously your son to score that victory?
We got a game plan. We're going to execute it, and we're going to get the results.
Move that head, bob and weave.
As the countdown to their showdown in Brooklyn continues, it's clear that Roach is fully locked in. His training camp is already in full swing, and he's preparing for Davis with the utmost professionalism. On the other side, Gervonta Davis looks sharp and ready, with his weight already close to fighting form. While other fighters, like Keeson Davis, often appear to carry extra weight during training camp, Tank stays lean and prepared. Ki-Sun tends to look more like a welterweight before cutting down to 135 pounds, but Davis doesn't rely on drastic weight cuts for an advantage. He's a natural lightweight, not someone trying to game the system by shedding pounds at the last minute.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know, son. His father was up here shaking on the what's the name? He was shaking on the
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Roberto Diaz, Gary Jonas.
On my kids, he was shaking on this. On my kids, he was shaking. How you gonna say it's cap? And it gotta be. You gonna say it's cap?
Interestingly, Tank's longtime trainer, Calvin Ford, hasn't been seen much lately, sparking speculation that the two may have parted ways. Ford has been a constant presence in Tank's career for years, so his absence hasn't gone unnoticed by fans and insiders alike. Leonard Ellaby, who knows Davis well, weighed in on the situation during a conversation on *The Laboratory with Plaz Star. Reflecting on Tank's recent announcement that he plans to retire after 3 more fights, Ellaby shared that he understands Tank's mindset. "I can understand where he's coming from," Ellaby said. "Things are different when you have kids. It changes your life, it completely changes your life."
My whole family is from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them. Don't bring them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you.
They gonna celebrate with me. Yeah.
Don't bring them.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know, son. His father was up here shaking on the what's the name? He was shaking on the
Pops.
On my kids.
Ellaby also pointed out that Tank views things differently now than he did 6 or 7 years ago. Reflecting on Tank's recent retirement talk, he said, if that's what he said, that he's retiring and we all heard him, no, not at all. It's never good enough, what you do. And sometimes that can be frustrating. He went on to explain how the pressure from fans and the constant demand for more fights can take a toll. There's more to life than just what you do for a living, Ellaby said. You have to respect the fans who pay their money to see you fight, but you also have a life outside of boxing. They want you to continue, but they don't always care about your health afterward.
What? Who said that? You said what? You said what? Yeah, that's why I've been waiting for the niggas to talk. How much you want back? How much you want it back? Because I came up here alone. How much y'all want back? How much you want back? Just call it out. Huh? 100?
The future may look bright for Tank, but it's also filled with hungry competitors. Fighters like Andy Cruz, Edwin de los Santos, and Ki-Sun Davis are all gunning for him, and it's possible Tank feels the heat. These are no easy fights, and Tank knows it. While he may be confident in his ability to beat them, he also understands that those battles will be grueling. At this stage in his career, he may not want to put in the extreme effort required for such high-stakes matchups. Ellaby also shared his thoughts on the brutal nature of boxing and how it can impact a fighter's long-term health.
When the people who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get them. I'ma beat his ass.
He can't do shit with it.
For real. So y'all better be quiet.
I don't give a fuck if y'all was quiet, if y'all was loud.
He got the whole hood over there.
Like, twist it up. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Boxing is a brutal sport, Ellaby said, reflecting on the toll it takes on fighters. You see a lot of fighters from before who were taken advantage of in many ways. They go through a lot of health issues, permanent stuff. He went on to explain that he understands the philosophy that fighters come into the sport, make their mark, and then leave it at that. Everybody's opinion is different, and everybody has different goals in life. With Davis's retirement announcement hanging over everything, the big question remains, will it be permanent? Ellaby hinted that Tank may not be done forever. It's hard to ignore how popular Davis is and the kind of money he can attract. If the right offer comes along in 6 to 12 months, it wouldn't be surprising to see him make a return. A massive payday could easily pull him back into the ring, especially if the opponent is high-profile enough to make headlines.
Why was it so easy when he fought Frank Martin?
Frank Martin was inexperienced and nervous. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be a different fight when I'm in there. He's going to be a different fighter when he's fighting me.
Hey, what's your game plan?
Whoop his ass. I'm always looking for a knockout. No matter what, I'm always prepared for 12 rounds. But I'm always looking for a knockout, and if I get the chance, I'm going to try to knock his head off.
Premier Boxing Champions released a behind-the-scenes look at Davis's preparation for the fight, titled *Gloves Off Star. In it, Davis opens up about his biggest fear, which has always driven him: I just don't want to look bad come fight night. My biggest fear is being embarrassed, especially in front of all these people worldwide. Then you become a meme. I ain't got time for that. I ain't trying to go out and get my butt kicked. I don't want to be embarrassed. It's a telling revelation from one of the most dangerous boxers in the sport. While many assume boxers are fearless, for Davis, it's actually the fear of being embarrassed that pushes him to greatness.
Personally, I thought Calvin would be. I know Calvin would be the lead.